Alright, there's some news. Now, interestingly enough, they decided to make some changes to Demon Hunter right away, but I'm not a huge fan of the method that they used. But first of all, let me say that this, of course, is the Hearthstone Report, your source of Hearthstone news, and yes, Alex isn't here today, don't worry, he'll be back. So yeah, there's been some changes to Demon Hunter. Blizzard decided to, on like the second day that Demon Hunter was playable in multiplayer, maybe this class is actually too strong. Guess what? It's not like everyone's been saying that forever. I already said that when we just looked at the cards. It seemed really strong, and apparently Blizzard is not willing to test their stuff anymore. They just throw it out and let us test it, I guess. But my issues with that aside, cards have been nerfed. Skull of Gul'dan now costs 6 mana instead of 5. I think that's a very valid change. I've said it before, compare it to Arcane Intellect, right? It's like you're paying 5 mana to draw 3 cards. It's a little worse than paying 3 mana to play 2. And you also get to, with the Outcast, reduce the cost of the cards drawn by 3, so that's a lot. And yeah, people have said before it sounds more like a legendary spell or something, but no, it's just, it's just a regular spell. Impresent Antaean, I'm pretty sure I've heard someone pronounce it before, I still have no idea. Also increased from 5 to 6, that is the one that goes dormant, and once it awakens deals 10 damage to random split between enemies. Also a very strong minion. I think also that nerf is very much justified. I-Beam, Outcast now reduces the mana cost to 1 instead of 0. I see why they did this, because that means that when it's Outcast, it's not an automatically, oh, I might as well play it, it doesn't cost anything sort of play, but it actually goes into your intentional turn planning a little bit more. That being said, as people have noticed in this forum post as well, it's a little bit problematic, because if you draw it with a cost reduction, like say Skull of Gul'dan, and it gets Outcast, all of a sudden costs more than it would otherwise, which is really strange, but maybe they'll fix that. And the Eldrazi Warblades, their durability has been decreased from 3 to 2, making it a 3 mana 2/2 lifesteal weapon, which is pretty much in line. I mean, they nerfed the Fiery War Axe a while ago. It's been a long while now, from 2 to 3 as well in the mana cost, and that is a 3/2 weapon, and this is a 2/2 weapon with an upside now, instead of a 2/3 weapon with an upside. I mean, you could compare it to some of the other weapons. Generally, 3/2 weapons with an upside are at 3 mana. We've seen 2 mana 2/2 weapons that were conditional 2/3s at 2, so it's roundabout the regular balance point. And of course, because you can buff the attack so easily, you are potentially taking away a rather large chunk of healing for the class. So I definitely see why they did this as well, because that gives a lot less sustainability to the aggro class, and thereby hopefully allowing other aggro decks, or maybe some like more mid-range decks, to actually keep the Demon Hunter in check, but just threatening to deal damage back to them. So overall, all these nerfs seem somewhat justified. What I don't like at all is that they implemented this in a server-side patch, meaning that the cards are still displayed as the old ones in the collection until they roll out this client-side patch, which hopefully by the time this video goes live is already out. And once that patch is out, the client-side one, cards can be disenchanted for full dust. Besides the one of those is in the Demon Hunter Initiate set. It says down here as well. I-Beam is, and that can then only be, the golden ones can be disenchanted because you got the regular ones for free. Also, there's a bunch of cards for Demon Hunter that are now harder to get in Arena. I don't think a lot of people care about this, but it is worth mentioning. I'm going to quickly keep it scrolled to there where you can see it, so you can briefly pause the video and have a look at those if you are so inclined. Honestly, that's already it for the news. I mean, they make it sound like they might make more changes to Demon Hunter, which, you know, it's a really strong class. I get it, right? They tried pushing Demon Hunter, so they made it really strong. And now they're like, well, maybe we made it a little too strong. So it's a... I understand why this came to be, but also I still think Blizzard should maybe put more work into actually releasing a balanced class rather than an overpowered one so everyone play day one and then just balance it later. Who cares? Anyways, that was my opinions. Speaking of opinions, you can of course leave yours in the comments below, and if you want to just more generally let us know if you enjoyed this content or not, you can give a little bit of a thumbs up or down. We'd prefer thumbs up, but you know, it's a free world, mostly. And if you want to stay up to date with, well, Hearthstone as a community, since we do post regular Hearthstone reports whenever whenever there are big news, or just, you know, generally our content, subscribe to this channel. And maybe consider joining our Discord server where you can get help from people if you're having any issues in Hearthstone. You can theory craft decks, you can just generally catch up with the audience, and you will be informed about the videos because YouTube isn't always so great at that. And until next time, that's it.